Hey everybody, this is Hugo Sanchez from Mundesk Media, a coaching marketing agency for coaches and consultants. In this video, I will show you how to use Pomelli to create brand assets for social media at scale with AI. It's the latest Google Lab experiment, and it's actually pretty fascinating. It's free to use. All you got to do is go to labs.google/experiments, and here you get to click try it now. When you click try it now, you can see the video down here of what Pomelli can actually pretty impressive. All the things that it can do, it's fascinating. So the way it works is that it when you put your when you get started here. So let me start opening a new account here so we can start from scratch. So what it does is that when you get started, you get to put your website URL in here, and then it fetches your website DNA, and meaning like it extracts your website's fonts, colors, images, and an entire like interface so that it can extrapolate that into new designs and generate new designs at scale. So in my case, so I already did this for my company and I already extracted my entire DNA for my company. It extracted the logo, the fonts, the colors. This is pretty accurate. Everything in here is pretty accurate. Some images for my website. I also uploaded additional images here. I click here and I click upload images, and I added more images that I had that are not in my website, but I wanted to reconsider. So once this was done, I go ahead and can create brand ideas for campaigns. So in this case, what I want to do is I want to create a campaign for an AI tool that I created. So if you go to mundusmedia.com and you go to resources, I've been creating a few AI tools for coaches and consultants as lead generators. So one of them is AI podcast interviewer optimizer. So if you have a podcast and you have guests in your podcast, this AI tool uses AI journalism insights to help you improve your questions or to come up with questions from scratch. So I want Pomelli to create a campaign to help me create brand assets to help me create designs so I can put into ads to have people go to this page and use my tool. Once people fill out this form, like here, I'm just going to show you. Then, in order to get the answers, you need to opt into my mailing list. Okay. So the what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and add a prompt in Pomelli. And what we're going to say is prompt we're using is generate ideas for an ad campaign to drive qualified traffic to my free AI tool, the podcast interview question optimizer. This AI tool helps podcast hosts generate great questions to interview their guests or improve the questions they are planning to ask using journalism best practices. And once we are ready here, um, I'm just gonna go click and generate ideas. I haven't, this is all the information I need to give it. After a few minutes is the first thing that it does. So this is how Pameli works. You get your brand DNA, then you tell it, sorry, the campaign that you want to create. And what it's doing now is analyzing this campaign, analyzing the sales angles for this campaign, and coming up with three concepts for the campaign. So the three concepts that it came up is authoritative podcasting, highlight a specific high value scenario where AI tool is essential. The other one is stop sounding generic. And the other one is upgrade your interview questions. Whatever we pick here is going to go ahead and generate more ideas for the campaign, like the actual graphic design of the ideas of the campaign. So in my case, I like the last one, upgrade your interview questions. I think this is what is more accurate for this campaign. So I'm just going to click that. And it's going to take about 2 minutes to generate some creatives. So actually, after about the 40 seconds, it came up with these designs. So we have I've used several of my photos, and everything here is editable. So there's always three components um, on a on a Pomelli design. So if we four components, when we click at it, we can see we have the component of the image, we have the header, which is this one, we have the description, and we have an optional call to action. This is the things that are editable in the design. So in this case, tailored content, zero draft, that to me makes no sense. So if I want to redo that, I can just click here and say something like feature the practical component of my tool, the practical aspect of my tool to Help podcasters ask great questions and sound smart. So it's the strategy behind trust, not necessarily the headline that I would love, but for practical uses, let's just stay with it. The other thing that I can do is that I can just add a call to action. So if I want this to be an ad, I may want to have a button in the design telling people what I want them to do next. So all I have to do is to click generate call to action, and it's going to generate a design with a button included. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so the strategy behind trust, our AI tool rapidly generates hyper-specific content ideas for your next interview. I still don't love the header, but that's something that I can either give it another prompt or come up with a good one myself. So, uh, great podcasts have great questions. Or start with great questions. Let's see what happens when I update that. It's going to re-render the design. By the way, here we have the version history. The last one is the one without the call to action. And all the minor edits that we're doing here, you're going to see here in the second version. So the second version has great podcast, starts with great questions, but the color is the size is way too big. So here might just update this to 40 of size in the header, and it's again going to recreate a design with the header being 40. So it's still too big. We might do 32 and make sure that all the color here is always white. Um, let's see what it comes up with. This is looking great, and the one of the issues that I found playing with Pomelli is that this description were just like too small. And when I try to make it bigger, so let's try to make this one bigger, perhaps 16 pixels and 20 of line height. Sometimes it just cuts the text and you can't really see the entire description. Let's see if that's the case here. So when I do that, it didn't work. It actually came out pretty nicely. So this is a design that I can work with. The call to action, instead of build yours, I want to say access free tool. Okay, so this is a concept that I already like a lot, and I can see myself using this for my ad campaign. The other thing that I can do here's I can go here to image preview, and I can change the image. I can just select a completely new image out of my image selection, or I can create a whole new image with AI. So here I can say create an image of a person interviewing someone for a podcast. And it's going to generate a few ideas with Gemini, with Flash, sorry, with Nano Banana, Gemini Flash 2.5, and it's going to show up down here. Once we have, this is the ideas that it came up with. They're pretty generic, but they're kind of nice. So let me go with this one. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna click apply. And now we have a third version of this design. So we have the first one like this, then we have the other one with the call to action, and then we have another one that is being created with the different tool, with the different background, AI generated background. So here's what it came up with. It changed the colors a little bit. The colors are editable, and we can actually, you can't change the color of the button. I realized that when I was playing with this, but you can change the color of the font in the button, but not the button itself. Okay, so actually, these are three beautiful designs that I can totally see myself doing. If I want to go ahead and use this, all I gotta do is download here. I can download this other one that I also want to use. I don't want to use the first one, so I'm not going to download it. But that's just one design. We also have three other ideas that we can create. So stop asking basic questions, and I kind of like that. I want to generate a call to action. While that is being in process, I want to edit this one, and I want to change the image. And instead, I wanted to have an image of an abstract image of no sorry a graphic image of a microphone, of a podcast microphone, um, with many question marks floating around it. So this is another example of using the AI tool to create a whole new image for this concept. So this is the ideas that came up from it. I particularly like this one. It's the more graphic one, so I'm gonna apply it and let's see what ideas he come up with for the design. This is the design. I like it a lot. All I gotta do is I want to create a call to action. Again, it's not necessary. I might just use it as is. So I'm just gonna download this version and let's see what's the next thing it comes up with. While that's loading, I also had another version here with a call to action. This one, instead the call to action, instead of being build trust, may want it to say something else, but this is also another one that I want to use. So all of a sudden, I have like real quickly, look, this looks pretty good. I have this one like this and this one like this. These are two different designs that have very similar concepts, but they might have very different results when you're running ad campaigns or when you post it on social media. So this is an amazing tool and I'm going to be using it a lot in my campaigns. And I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Go ahead and figure it and play some with it.